Yeah. So we've been running for 18 weeks now in a row, and we have two more left. As Dare, the main sponsor of this tournament, they have funded for eight for
20.
20 tournaments, which does mean we only have this week and then two more after that.
And we're gonna have to really show them that we're worth it. And speaking of showing their worth, here we are now on Ice and Chrome. The first time we're gonna be seeing this map tonight. Where is the Chrome? That is something for you to ponder. I personally think it's in RAM, but it's more of a personal question. It says more how you answer says more about you than the other. Oh, me, what are you doing? In the top right corner of the map, the Reds, coming out all the way from India. He is the Grand Platypus himself, representing Downfall Gaming. It's Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ice and Chrome LE, going for a 12 pool, I believe. We have the Vietnamese Zerg player representing himself as he is teamless. He is MeomaikA.
And if this was any other Zerg player light, I would say that that MeomaikA's opponent would be dead, but this is Demi that we're talking about. He's been in this situation, specifically against MeomaikA, many times before, and has shown his ability to hold against this.
Yeah, we've seen many times Demi with his drone defense against early lings, being able to micro so well, losing minimal amounts of drones and being able to hold on to his expansions. It's honestly really cool to see. And yeah, we'll see if he's able to do that here today in game number 1, as MeomaikA did go for that 12 pool. He's already headed across the map. He does get spotted by the Overlord of Demi.
Now we're gonna see how Demi chooses to react against this. Gonna be a bit more reactive. Gonna be waiting for these lings to come too close to trap themselves in, somewhat.
Yeah, you know, when this happens, you do have to wait a little bit as the hatchery does soak up a little bit of damage, then you go with your drones, and the goal is to save this hatchery. Meanwhile, MeomaikA's is to either kill the hatchery or, you know, get a decent amount of drone kills.
Yeah, exactly. And get a bunch of drone kills he is looking to do. MeomaikA may have just kicked these drones right out of their bases. This is not looking too good for Demi right now. Already going to be losing 3 drones to this, but with the Zergling reinforcement, MeomaikA may just be chased away here.
Yeah, so far 3 drones have gone down, and the Queen has popped out here, and with the Queen, Demi should be able to push this away, not after losing 4 drones though.
Yeah, it was a little bit troublesome to say the least for the side of Demi. I think MeomaikA may have just, I don't know, he may have gotten away with that, feeling like, oh yeah, I got the damage I had to do done.
It was decent, except yeah, I will say that MeomaikA is still a little bit on the back foot. Demi, obviously, he did mine gas a lot faster than MeomaikA, so he already has link speed on the way. Meanwhile, MeomaikA only just got his gas, so yeah, he will be behind in that respect. Same with banelings if they decide to make banelings. So yeah, we'll see if Demi is able to deal some kind of counter harassment. Regardless, he will have map control for the time being.
Yeah, and Demi typically wants to make use of that. He wants to be out in the map with his lings once they're fully upgraded and whatnot. But I'm thinking that MeomaikA may know this.
Yeah, definitely. And MeomaikA, he's just situating his lings. You know, he's keeping an eye on a third base timing if there is one. Maybe even deny or kill the drone, just to slow Demi down. Meanwhile, they're both just droning up, and MeomaikA is the first to get that lair.
Surprisingly, even foregoing link speed for that.
Exactly. He went straight up into it, which I do love. Like, when you open up 12 pool, like, your link speed is so delayed that why even bother investing into it? Just skip that section entirely, and catch up.
Go go straight into Hydras.
Shush you. Don't even. That would be insane, to say the least. And here we go, MeomaikA going for that full wall off. Just curious to see. Yeah,
he knows that he's going for the counterattack.
Exactly, and right now MeomaikA is vulnerable. That's why he is forced to throw down. That's why he is, sorry, that is why he is forced to throw down that wall to make sure he is safe and secured. 4 queens behind us as well. And I'm just curious to see what the plan is with this fast lair for both players. Both players staying on 2 bases.
Well, so far MeomaikA has gotten this Roach Warren. I have a feeling that's going to be a fake out Roach Warren, but he is actually researching Galarian Constitution as well as +1 range. So yeah, MeomaikA, I'm guessing it's going to be that good old Roach Nidus, whereas Demi is going for his old reliable. It is that 2-base Spire.
It is that 2-base Muta that we are seeing from Demi.
Well,
meanwhile, what? he could go Corruptors, I guess. If that's what you're saying, question mark?
I'm just like, you know, we see the Spire. We don't quite see the Mutalisk yet.
Look, this isn't MeomaikA we're talking about, right? Like, God damn
You're
it.
right. He's the other Zerg player here.
He is, and I do like this. Demi, he's going with the Overseer just to confirm that there is no Spire for MeomaikA, because we have seen this before. Like, MeomaikA has been known to make upgrades like at the wall, which are really a fake out because he really is going for a Spire. But no, he is actually committing to these roaches and he's pushing out across the map.
Yeah, it will take a little while to get there, especially with Galarian Constitution. Demi looking to meet them in the middle of the map, hopefully try to get a bit of surround, but MeomaikA has enough to push through.
Yeah, and behind this, there's a Nidus on the way from MeomaikA, so he's going to be able to reinforce with his Queens as well. So Queen, Roach are going to be at the door of Demi, and Demi, he's throwing down a bunch of spines. This is exactly what he needs to try and defend.
But is it an overcommitment from the side of Demi? We do see the army supply of MeomaikA doubling that of Demi's. One thing that Demi has going for him, MeomaikA has not spotted this third.
Yeah, and we'll see if these are enough spines, as he does need to hold on for as long as he can for his Mutalisk to pop out. I do love this counterattack. The Lings are heading across the map to try and get into the mineral lines of MeomaikA.
And the Mutalisks have popped out right now. Nidus is trying to go on its way, but the Mutalisks have some opinions on that. Ducklings will be chased away here for Demi.
Yeah, it's so important that he actually focused on that Nidus, because if that Nidus went up, that means the Queens would have gone out across the map and the Queens would have been able to deal with the Mutalisk, but it did get denied. Meanwhile, the third base is going to be going down for Demi, which is understandable. Again, Demi, he's focusing his entirety of the Mutalisk on those Niduses to make sure the Queens don't come into play.
And I'm not sure you want to be fighting right here, MeomaikA. That's a lot of spy crawlers. Nidus, as you said, has been taken out, and MeomaikA calls GG. Demi going to be taking game number 1. Thought it may have been an overcommitment, but no way. When you're up against the cat himself, you need those defenses.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I just love how Demi played that out. It was so important. I just love how he was focusing entirely on killing those Niduses, because if they did pop up, then it's not just Queens, but drones can also pop out as well. Spores can be thrown down offensively. A lot can be done for MeomaikA in terms of anti-air. So yeah, like Demi respecting that and being on top of that.
Yeah, I think... I guess there are certain plays by certain players that I just should not question. And Demi Spy Force is one of them. He has been up against MeomaikA in this situation way more times. Almost too many times to count.
Oh yeah, if you go for a 2-base Muta, you need a Spine Force. Otherwise, you will just die to the Roaches. Like your Mutalisk will not come out in time. So yeah, Demi just ensuring that he doesn't die before his Mutalisk come out, and yeah, just well done. Takes game number 1.
Very well done. We'll need to win one more before going into the finals for a 5th or 6th week in a row. You know what I just noticed here, Light? We actually have some decent Vietnamese representation in the final rounds.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really surprised that Upley, we didn't get to talk about it much. I'm honestly really surprised that Upley was able to take out Pez.
Yeah, the #1 PvZ player of the region, I would say, in Pez. And Upley being a little bit overshadowed by the likes of MeomaikA and, you know, even by... who's a different Vietnamese player. I would say Justice Simon, but, you know, Justice Simon, he plays for Rotas. Alright, well, I guess Upley is that #2 Vietnamese Zerg.
Yeah, I would say so, and especially because Upley, we've seen him time and time again. Like Upley and Nux, they're the two like up and comers from their countries that we do see quite often in these online tournaments, in GPO as well, and as well as Aodai. So it's really cool to see them performing well, and yeah, just 2-0ing Pez is something that you often don't see. It's honestly really impressive. I would have loved to have seen what transpired in that series.
Is that a segue? Because I feel like we already did that.
No, I'm legitimately curious. I'm very, very legitimately curious what happened in that series, because I agree, like, Pez, his PvZ is the best in the region. So I don't know if like Upley caught him off guard. If Upley's versus Protoss is that good, like, are we gonna end up in a situation where Upley goes to the finals?
That would be something to look out for, and I am personally hoping that's, well, it's kind of tough for me right now looking at it, like, because Probe, he's coming back into form. He has, for the longest time, been the top Australian player. Took a little bit of a dip from that when he really had to, you know, dedicate his time to his studies, but it's about 2-3 weeks since Probe has gone into winter vacation or something like that, and he is finally looking back in form. So I don't know, I'm really torn between who I want to face off in the finals.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really curious, because if Upley can take out Pez, he can take out Probe. That's why it's crazy to me that that's the situation that we're finding ourselves in. So yeah, it does seem like, sorry, we were just buying a little bit of time as the players were asking for a quick break. It does seem like they may be back. So.
And you know what? I cannot blame them whatsoever, like, for needing to use the water closet, as with our lovely sponsor today, Dare Iced Coffee. I cannot stop drinking it, I gotta tell ya. They said that I might have a little bit too much of that caffeine, or whatever that's called, in my system. But I just can't stop drinking it. It's good. Dare Iced Coffee.
God damn it, Yaku. Shout out to Dare Iced Coffee for sponsoring this, for bringing us with 20 wonderful weeks of ESL Open Cup Asia.
Asia?
OCE.
Southeast Asia?
OCE?
Southeast?
StarCraft.
There we go. And speaking of StarCraft, we are now in that StarCraft 2 map that was came into play during the 2020 Season 1, or something like that. Either that or the 2019 Season 4. Everdream, ideally Edle. We're in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spotting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. We have the Red Zerg player coming out all the way from the land of India. He is going to be representing Downfall Gaming. We have Demi.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player representing himself as he is teamless. It is MeomaikA.
Alright, hear me out for a second, Light.
Uh-huh.
I feel like the spirit of the cat god is much more powerful on Saturday than it is on Tuesday.
I mean, it's quite possible. Again, I feel like if we ever did an interview with MeomaikA, these are the questions that we would ask him.
Because I feel like it's been a story for a while that MeomaikA generally has been able to get the upper hand on Demi during GPOs. Not all the time, but usually the case. And similarly in ESL Open Cup, Demi has been the one who gotten the upper hand on MeomaikA. Well, actually, no, that's actually a very recent development now that I think about it.
Yeah. For the longest time, it was Demi was really struggling with MeomaikA and how he played and how he approaches the matchup. As you were saying, in recent weeks, in recent months, Demi has finally been able to, I guess, in a way, figure out MeomaikA, or just figure out his own way to play against him, and finally start taking series, like convincingly, or sorry, I should say consistently. So yeah, it's really interesting to see how Demi has developed over the year, and like, what's really important is, you know, how are they going to look going into Season 2 of DreamHack?
The DreamHack Fall has been announced. The qualifiers will be up in about a week, so yeah, that's this is going to be that 1 week of preparation, and what we're going to be trying to gleam at before those qualifying matches.
Yeah, the qualifiers are going to be held in August next month. I say next month, we're at the end of July.
About a week from now, week and a half.
Yeah, it feels, it's honestly, I don't like how quick it is. Like, it feels like we just had season 1 and now we're just going straight into season 2, and it's like, well, guys, calm down.
They've got a quota. They do by this year, and yeah, unfortunately, because of some outside influences couldn't be helped.
Yeah, and speaking of doing things quite quickly, we have MeomaikA link flooding across the map with nothing but lings. We do have a couple of defensive banelings for Demi, and a lair on the way actually for Demi as well. We'll see if he can get away with that.
And it's definitely going to be the question, MeomaikA, can you split your Zerglings? And he is doing a really good job of them right now. Not losing too many lings. MeomaikA actually having a pretty big upper hand. Demi down to only 1 baneling. Sometimes that's all you need, but sometimes they get sniped by a single ling.
Exactly. At the moment, Demi is still ahead in workers, or now equal in workers. He has defended as well as he's had to, and this baneling is still alive, looking to try and get the best connection it can.
And with a quick little, not warping, but the other one of lings, it seems like MeomaikA is just going to be pushed away here. He's dealt the damage that he needed to. Maybe not as much as he'd like, but just enough to make it worth it.
Yeah, we're in an interesting situation where Demi, he finished his lair, and as soon as lair finished, Spire is on the way. Meanwhile, MeomaikA instead, his lair is slower, but he has a faster third base. I say that Demi is already here with his lings, looking to try and deny this, try and snipe this, as he is going for mutas behind this.
Ooh, and again, this is Demi TM. This is exactly how Demi likes to play it out. He wants to be a little bit more aggressive early on to try to deny or delay that third base from coming up. And then just go into the mid game from an advantage. MeomaikA is going to be able to defend it against this with his defensive lings and with his Zergling count. But as you were saying, that Spire's on the way and I don't see any spores.
Yeah, and here we go. The lings of Demi went all the way around. The lings of MeomaikA was able to slip through the defenses and is pouncing on top of this third base. Gets it quite low, less than half health, but does the ban. Oh, he has to be so careful not to commit too much, as MeomaikA is the one with these banelings.
And MeomaikA, this time, his Hydralisk then is actually going to be the right call.
Yeah, this time he's making Hydras, and it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, just gonna be checking the vision of MeomaikA real quick. Yeah, so it hasn't quite scouted the Spire, but I think he's aware of a lair. Yeah, he saw the lair morphing in. So
yeah,
he
saw
that
the
knowing
lair.
Demi is gonna be one of one thing.
Exactly. He's aware of how Demi plays this out, so he is already going for those Hydralisks. So we are going to be seeing Ling Bane Hydra against Ling Bane Muta. I'm not too sure who I favor. I kind of want to favor Demi but it's hard to think. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends a lot more on the timing. Eventually, we're gonna get to a point where the Hydras will overpower the mutas, or not overpower, I should say, but will be a counter to the mutas. But there's a little bit of a window where the mutas can just overpower the Hydras, especially if the banelings come into play.
I would say that the big thing at the moment is that MeomaikA, he got away with that third base. You know, he's just ramping up his worker production. He's up to 60 workers, fully saturated on 3 bases. Meanwhile, Demi, he's just been stuck on 2 this entire time.
Yeah, not really droning up much behind that. He has a Mutalisk out now, but MeomaikA already has the Hydras. He's gonna have to get them in a pretty good position, and the creep spread isn't looking too good, but Muscular Augments is just about gonna be finishing up. So I don't think MeomaikA will have too much trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, Demi, he's going to be able to force a cancel here on the 4th base, which is nice, but that's a 4th base, not a 3rd. Like, Demi, he's struggling so much in terms of his economy right now, and MeomaikA, he looks like he's starting to just gain map control.
So what is the next step for both of these players? I think MeomaikA should probably continue doing what he's doing. I say that as he throws out an infestation pit. Yeah, but I'm not sure what how Demi would switch things up.
Yeah, so I do like what Demi's doing. He's getting baneling speed, so Ling Bane, just Ling Bane on its own, will deal with Ling Bane Hydra for MeomaikA. That's why I kind of favor Demi, because Ling Bane just does so well against Hydralisks. Like, the ground army can just do so well if the connections are just right. So yeah, we'll see how Demi does. Again though, like, because of his low economy, he's struggling a little bit to keep up. And but this makes sense. Like Fungal's like he has Ling Bane Hydra, not just Ling Hydra, right? He doesn't have
Well, he's not making any banelings at the moment. No, but I mean, I guess the Fungals are still pretty useful against opponents' banelings, aren't they?
Exactly, right? Like he can fungal the banelings, he can fungal the mutas, he can fungal anything, and it'll be so much value.
That he will, but he does have to make sure that they get in. There are so many banelings here for Demi at the moment, and they do get those connections you were talking about, but not quite enough. Most of their Hydras still are alive, and they're starting to shave off that Mutalisk count.
Yeah, exactly. Like the baneling connections were good for Demi, but he just needed a little bit more on the ground. Like the Hydralisk stood strong for MeomaikA, and now he is on the offensive.
And the Infestor is out.
The Infestors are out as well. The fungal potential is there. Ooh, forcing a kill.
Kill.
Ah.
Can't really force the kill. Either way, that base was killed.
Either way, the base does go down. Demi forced to evacuate his drone line. Oh my god, all the drones are dropping.
MeomaikA being a bit greedy, but the drones do go down all the same. Demi has about a lot of time, but here comes the Fungal. We were talking about it. Fungal lands on top of those banelings, and they cannot quite get the connections that they want. Such a low number of Hydralisks, but they're gonna be enough. GG's call. MeomaikA ties up that series sideways 1-1, giving us our ace match. And man, I gotta tell you, like, there's always a lot of hype coming out when these two Zerg players face.
Yeah, definitely. Like this game, so much happened in this game where MeomaikA, he was the initial aggressor, right? He went for that massive Link Flood, and Demi, he defended quite well. The problem was that he was stuck on two bases for far too long. And the reason for that was because he invested in that faster lair and that faster spire, and it was working for him, but he just needed that extra base, that extra economy to keep up, because as we were pointing out, like, he had decent Ling Bane connections. He just didn't really have much money to have more, which is what he needed, right?
Yeah, the one time where quantity, I guess not really trumps quality, but the one time where you want some quantity at a little bit of an expense for quality. And I gotta tell you, like, I think he might not have needed that much quantity if not for the fungal at the very end. That was
I'm just glad that it came into play, right? Like he it's good.
Yeah, he's been teasing us all night about these infestors. Hasn't always gotten the best use out of them, but man, when he nailed it, he nailed it.
Exactly.
All right, we're gonna be loading into our final map of this semifinales, of our semifinals here. Probe vs. Upley still going on right now. We may be able to catch them mid-series if the planets do align.
We may and just making sure that we have the right people here in this lobby. Sweet.
I don't know about this Yakuzaku guy. I don't know about him.
We are here. We are loading into game number 3, and I don't know.
This is Zerg favorite map.
Their favorite map?
This is a Zerg favorite map.
Ah, true.
So who has the advantage? We'll find out.
Demi, right? Like,
it doesn't play standard, yeah. And speaking of the advantage, here is the player who may or may not have the advantage, depending on how that goes. We are loading in onto Pillars of Gold, LE. LE, of course, standing for Language Aspirations. It's aspiration? Language English. Because English is a language. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spotting... Well, actually, English is more like 4 languages morphed together into a thing. At least modern English is. You can go back to, like, Anglo. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way to the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Red Zerg. Coming down all the way from the land of India, going for a hatch first. He is going to be representing Downfall Gaming, the Shark himself. Everybody give it up for Demi.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Pillars of Gold, LE, going for a gas and pool before hatch. Yep. We have the Vietnamese Zerg player representing himself as he is teamless. It is MeomaikA.
And is there a better map in the current pool to do this on?
Submarine.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Maybe. I mean, maybe it's too obvious on Submarine. I don't know if you recall,
I was kind of thinking that, but at the same time, does it come into play too much? Like,
I was about to say that during SDO on Friday, we had a ZvZ on Submarine. And
oh, I remember that.
They both 12-pulled each other.
Shout out to Karen.
That we did, and yeah, we'll see how this plays out. As MeomaikA, I believe he went for a gas pool hatch, which means you do get the faster link speed. So he will be having that come into play. But yeah, and he also has the faster links as well. They are moving out across the map.
Yeah, but surprisingly, Demi still has about the same number of links to faces. Obviously, being behind on Zergling speed, MeomaikA will be able to kite this, or quote-unquote kite. It's kind of awkward to do with melee units, but same thing applies.
Yeah. Again, MeomaikA, he goes in hoping to pick off a drone or two, but doesn't really find much at all, and he is forced back, actually losing one of those links as well. So MeomaikA went for this... Yeah?
No, I was gonna say, is this big brain? Because now Demi thinks, oh yeah, he just went for a pool first to try to get some scouting done with these four links. I'll get some banelings just in case. He hasn't realized it's gonna be a total link flight. No way, he does. That's why he got the baneling nest.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, Demi, he knows that the opener for MeomaikA was more aggressive, so he is getting that baneling nest. Will he be able to morph in banelings in time, though, as the link's already here?
That's gonna be a doubt for me. Like, nice little bit of body blocking, though, on this ramp. Demi was able to scout this off with his overlords, but there's not any energy here for a transfuse. MeomaikA's not going for the ramp, though. He is just going straight for this hatchery.
That he is, and I love how Demi is forcing MeomaikA to fight here at the ramp, so the queens can actually take part in it. I'm doing the best they can. There are banelings being morphed in. Will they finish up in time for Demi to save his hatchery?
The hatchery's going down. Good transfuse being used here, and his hatchery should survive. The link count is getting picked off, and the hatch lives. Did not even need banelings for that. Oh lord. And so did most of the drones.
Yeah, and we'll see MeomaikA, he still has links here. He's morphing in Banes as well. He's looking to try and snipe that hatchery, but Demi, he should be on top of this. He still has those two banelings that he morphed in. He has queens, he has lings. He should be able to keep this alive, and with that, he's looking good. He's looking solid. And of course, he's going for a lair.
I mean, when you know your opponent's pretty much limited to Ling Bane for the time being, may as well.
God damn it, Demi. Don't change. So he's going to be going for a fast layer. There it is. The Spire is being thrown down as well. And Demi, he's well ahead. Like, he was able to hold. He didn't lose any drones because he pulled all his workers into the main base when that push started. He held onto his hatchery. Like, that was just beautifully done by Demi.
Yeah, very much so was. And I mean, we've been talking about it for quite a bit. In ZvZ, I don't think there's a ZvZ player in the region that can really nail down the defenses like Demi.
Yeah, and we do see already spines being thrown down. This should be a tell to MeomaikA. Like, he saw the spines, he's like, oh, okay, Spire must be on the way. So we'll see how MeomaikA responds, as he's getting a layer of his own. He is getting a third base as well, but yeah, I'm just a little bit concerned as he's getting an Evo. This signifies to me that he still wants to commit to Ling Bane.
Maybe. I kind of feeling like it might be a range upgrade coming in here.
Ooh,
he goes for Hydras or Roaches, but we'll see what he upgrades. See, it's melee.
Yeah, that's...
Why you gotta be rational, Mio?
That's what makes the most sense. As like if you get an earlier Evo like that, it's typically for +1 melee. So he's committing to this Ling Bane almost all in. And he's gonna have to try and end the game. Like otherwise these realists are just gonna reign supreme.
Yeah, this is a very calculated risk coming up from MeomaikA, and whether or not it's gonna pay off, I'm doubtful.
Yeah, I mean, Demi, he does have plenty of defensive Banes of his own, so he should be fine as long as he doesn't like waste the Banes. Oh god!
Okay, not as bad as it could have been. That could have been.
Oh my god, MeomaikA, please!
Don't play us like that. Okay, actually have a really good snipe on the Banelings here. The morphing Banelings of MeomaikA still gonna be able to survive. MeomaikA, his overlords start to get sniped off with these Mutalisks. And they're starting to go down.
That they are, but the Mutalisks do miss the Lings of MeomaikA, so MeomaikA is diving in again, trying to get some damage done. Oh, has to be so careful because the Banes are here for Demi.
That was a decent snipe, perhaps losing a bit more than he'd like there. And yeah, MeomaikA now forced all the way back. He cannot get that denial in that third base that he wanted to. So what does he do? He goes straight into the main.
Oh god, and the Lings like, oh, nice round on the Queen, but good transfuse, able to keep that alive. The Mutalisks of Demi are here across the map. There are a decent amount of Queens there from MeomaikA, so MeomaikA should be okay. MeomaikA is actually going for a Spire of his own.
Huh. Did not think that was going to be the response here.
So the question is, will MeomaikA try and catch up with Mutalisks, or do you think he's going to go Corruptor instead?
I think he's going to get a couple of Corruptors just to deal with the Mutalisks and maybe try to wrest control of the air back in his favor. Maybe take out an Overlord or two. But he's getting range upgrade, ground range upgrade.
And okay, so he's got more Queens on the way. So all these Queens are going to be popping out across the map with the Nidus that was just thrown down. So again, the Spire may just not come into play, as like the Mutalisks, I'm sorry, the Queens are going to should be enough for anti-air, as we should see them popping out across the map, supported by all of these Lings as well.
Yeah, and I'm just anticipating how this is going to play out. Good use of drones, getting a couple of spores here. Good way for MeomaikA to just retreat into a bit of a safer location. As you're saying, the Queen's gonna be in the front, gonna be the only anti-air right now for Demi, or MeomaikA, I should say.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like so far decent control, able to pick off some of Demi's Banelings there, and now the spores are done. They're gonna be moving on forward.
They are slowly but surely going to be able to position themselves right outside the range of the Spinecrawler. Demi going for this counterattack, and this is going to be huge. MeomaikA has nothing back at home.
He has absolutely nothing at home, so the Lings are going to be able to find a lot of damage. Meanwhile, MeomaikA, he is pushing him with his own Banelings.
And MeomaikA is actually going to be retreating here, going to be trying to defend his base. He does have a decent amount of units here, but it's only Queens.
Exactly, he needs something to support, to help out against these Banelings, and here we go. MeomaikA did keep a couple of Banelings here of his own, but he's using so many workers across the map. He only has 11 left.
Versus the 40 of Demi. Not quite getting the surface area that he wants here. MeomaikA does a really good use of the choke point there for Demi. I think this might just be it. I don't see MeomaikA coming back from this.
Yeah.
Oh, but the spores are really good.
The spores are really good, but he lost so many Queens there. He's lost basically all of his workers. Like MeomaikA, he's completely all in. The Lings are coming back from across the map, so he will have that to help him, but he just needs so much to try and break Demi. Like, he needs Banelings of his own at least.
Yeah, and I don't think he quite has the resources to get that. Will, at the very least, get that third base, so that's a bit of a concession. A couple of Queens coming in to reinforce this once again.
Yeah, definitely. So the anti-air is quite good. Again, I'm just a little bit concerned about the ground army, all these things. Like, there's plenty of Banes for Demi.
Oh, but it's starting to get sniped off. I think MeomaikA may have just done it here. The Banelings are gone. But the anti-air has been thinned out. The Lings are starting to go down for MeomaikA.
Oh, but the spores, they're uprooted. There's two of them that are trying to get there. But there's just enough here for MeomaikA to push the units away. One of the spores gets taken out.
And this is way too much damage being done. MeomaikA, he's sticking in there, but 14 army supply versus 40. That is not something he can really come back from, especially with the state of his economy. GG is called. And Demi is gonna be your first finalist for the evening. Once again, taking a little bit of revenge there for last Saturday. And he will be facing Probe in the finals.
Ooh, there we go. We did just get confirmation. Probe did 2-0 Upley. So Probe, it's been a while, but he is returning to the finals of ESL Open Cup Fueled by Dare, and he's going to be facing Demi.
LG was back in form.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be an interesting way of it's gonna be exciting to see how this plays out.